moving. Okay, there we go. CTO offers a service on, around here is channel 27 and 28. One is in Huntington and one is in Mamaroneck. And so you can go to a VHF, you can put on channel 27, you can say radio check, and an automated system in Mamaroneck, if you're on 27, will sense that signal and it will say this is the CTO automated signal, and it will communicate back to you what you just said. It basically records what you say and then it plays it back to you so you can hear the quality of your mic and the quality of your transmission. It's a great system. And, you know, I mean, Mamaroneck's, as a crow flies, 6 miles from here, 7 miles. You can hear around here, Coast Guard Eaton's Neck. You can hear, you know, like the Coast Guard further down the sound. So, you know, we're probably in this 12 to 30 mile range about being able to talk to a Coast Guard. Coast Guard can communicate. They have towers set up. They can communicate. I won't say virtually any place along the coastline, but any place that's populated along the coastline, they can communicate. All of Long Island Sound and all of the coast, all the way up to Maine, is covered with staggered Coast Guard stations that have transmission towers that would be able to receive. Make sense? All right. I am. Damn, there's some questions on this. So this is some simple VHF protocol. Let me just let me hit the ones that I think maybe there's test questions on. So I already maintain a watch on channel 13 and 16. Make distress calls on 16. Ship to ship and ship to bridge are 13. Ship to shore communications are typically done on 9. So if you go, like we know that Riverside Yacht Club is channel 7.4. If you go into a new harbor, guaranteed the harbor master is monitoring channel 9, and at least one marina will be. So if you make channel 9 your first call, you're likely to finish someone. There are some words that are used that, a couple of these are on the test. On one of the tests, like, you know, one of them is, what do you say at the end of an emergency communication? I mean, you're supposed to say, silence fini. That means that you have released the station, and it could crazy.
Wait, don't you just you pronounce it silence fini?
Yeah. So it is. I mean, people won't say that, but that's the correct pronunciation from it. And if you listen to a captain on a radio, you will have heard this, and you will hear silence mayday as well.
Why not just silence?
Because it's French. Mayday comes from French word.
Oh.
And so if you hear the Coast Guard or you hear someone else, it's pronounced silence is the way they say it. Just down. You hear this one. Have you ever heard a security call? So you'll hear someone say security call, security call. Basically just means like, hey, I'm a big boat. So you'll hear it every time a tug leaves Stamford. They'll say, you know, security call, this is the, you know, big ass tug, you know, pushing to New Rochelle, you know, on 13 and 16. You know, something like that, just so you know that they're like, you know, what they're doing. Most places though, you'll hear it, securite is the correct way to say it. And so some people say, well, security call, and some people say security. You also hear there's all these pro words, procedure words that you'll hear used on VHF. You don't need to know those, but you know. But you also hear this. I think there might be a test question or two. How many people know the phonetic alphabet? So we're looking at the phonetic alphabet. So every letter has a very defined word that goes with it. So A is not apple. It's alpha. It's Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Echo Foxtrot Golf Hotel India Juliet Kilo Lima Mike November Oscar Papa Quebec Romeo Sierra Tango Uniform X Victor X-Ray Miss Whiskey Yankee Zulu. So if you're going to say something that involves saying letters, instead of saying, look, this is, you know, my whole number is CT 2675, you would say my whole number is Charlie Tango 2675. That way there's no confusion in the communication. There might be a question on that. Okay.
Are we supposed to memorize all of them?
look, if you're going to be a boater, I think knowing those, if you're, I don't fly anymore, I used to fly. It's an absolute requirement. I think boaters should know those as well. And by the way, it's the same words that they use for the flags. So the protest flag is the Bravo flag. I won't go through that. I will go through this though. So there is a way that you are supposed to make a mayday call, and and not that you have to do this, but it's actually on those laminated sheets. Both of them has a little area, but you want to make it very clear if you've got a situation like what's going on. And the Coast Guard is going to ask you these questions anyway, so to the degree you can do it. Was anybody with me 3 years ago going to the water polo game in Stanford when we responded to a mayday on Serenity? Is anybody on the boat? No. So we're not playing Stanford this year, but every year at the Stanford water polo game, I take all the kids over, we go over on Serenity. And so we'd gone through the breakwater going into Stanford. We were maybe, a minute inside the breakwater, and I hear a mayday call. And so I spin the boat around and start going full throttle, still in the channel, right? Because I heard the mayday and I knew it was very close. Because if you hear a distress message and it's not answered, you got to answer it. And you also have to be reasonably sure that you stand by to help. And so there was a big trawler that had started taking on significant amounts of water and was sinking right off of the cows. And when he gave his lat long, I'm like, shit, that's like a quarter mile from here. And so we were the first boat there. He was fine, he had a pump going, and it was, maybe 10 minutes before a Coast Guard boat showed up. But I was monitoring channel 16, which I'm legally required to do. He was not getting a response to his message, so I intervened and said, I hear you, I'm coming to stand by for assistance. I then communicated with the Coast Guard because I wasn't freaking out that my boat was sinking. Right? I could now see the guy.
Wait, how did it happen? Like, did he hit a rock or something?
No, it was kind of an old POS, and I think that, who knows, right? Through a hole might have let go. I don't know. It was taking on a lot of water. By the time I got to it, it was listed like 15 degrees. So, anyway, there's a way to say a mayday, and there it is. I'll send you this. Okay. Where are we? We cannot start the next section, which is an important section, because there's a lot on it for the test. So I had to figure out, I guess we're going to start the next session with weather. I thought I'd be able to fit what I did in 4 sessions last time in 3, but I don't think I can, because we need at least a half an hour to 45 minutes to do this. So what we're going to do at the start of the next section is we're going to do weather, and then once we're done with weather, which is the last kind of major thing you have to avoid, then we'll roll into the practice test. Questions? Is this all too much to absorb? I mean, it's, I know it's a lot, but I think it's kind of